Is Tony Robbins a certified life coach? You might be thinking, who is this guy to be talking about Tony Robbins? I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a professional psychologist, and Tony Robbins is arguably one of the most well-known personal development gurus on the planet. But what qualifies him to do what he does? By the end of this video, you might have a little better understanding of Tony Robbins and his work, but also what your path might be toward personal development. You probably already know who Tony Robbins is, and if you don't, you can find him all over YouTube and the internet. My first introduction to Tony Robbins came from a mentor of mine who was helping me with my personal finance. His name is Les McGuire, and he was my financial advisor. Les knew that I had a desire to do more with my practice as a psychologist. I knew that there was a way I could have a bigger impact, and I had a sense that it would mean getting out of traditional clinical work into more of the personal development space. He's the one who suggested that I buy a program. I think it was called Unleashing the Giant Within, or something like that. This was a program done by Tony Robbins, and it came in a big box that plopped on my porch, and it had, I think it was cassette tapes or maybe CDs. So this is dating me just a little bit. I opened up the box and I launched into the course, and it was fun. The whole time as I was listening to Tony Robbins, who is very motivational and very inspiring in the way that he talks, I noticed that this guy doesn't have a degree like I do. What qualifies him to give me life advice? So I started having that question long before you typed the question into the search field here on YouTube. What qualifies him? Well, what I realized, it's not about his qualifications, it's about his connection to and his ability to communicate principles. Principles that are time-tested. Principles that have been around since the beginning of the world. When you listen to Tony Robbins, you don't hear something new as much as you kind of remember things that you kind of already knew. Have you noticed that? And this happens all the time in the personal development space. Even at the time that I was noticing that he didn't have the same degree that I had, I was paying him. And I noticed that. And a lot of people were paying him. He was already hosting big events, and in the years that have intervened since, he's probably touched the lives of millions of people on this planet through his events and his programs and his coaching. So what qualifies him? Here's a little bit of history that I was able to determine. During his youth, Tony discovered that he had an interest in and some abilities to do public speaking. He started to look at and read the works of inspiring speakers like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Dale Carnegie. This increased his interest in the professional development and public speaking arena. Robbins didn't go to college or take the traditional route that I did to go get a PhD in clinical psychology, but instead he started organizing seminars and working for the motivational speaker Jim Rohn. This is how he started to learn the ropes about working with people in the personal development field, and he has since become one of the leaders in the industry. It's kind of a silly question to ask, is he certified? Because the next question would be, by whom? Certification implies that there's a body or a group or an individual who knows better and is providing the certification, putting their stamp of approval basically on what you're doing. I think Tony Robbins' work and the lives that he has touched in the decades that he's been doing this speaks for itself. This also raises an interesting issue. Do you need to be certified to be a life coach? And the answer is no. You can be, and Tony even provides a certification for those who want to do what he does. Tony also serves as an example that there are many different paths to become a life coach. I think the common elements to these paths are life experience, knowledge, and expertise that can be gained in a variety of different ways. Tony Robbins gained his experience through actual participation in the personal development industry with Jim Rohn. I got my experience through doing a PhD in clinical psychology and having now close to 3 decades of clinical and coaching experience. What is it for you? You have your rich life experience. So what role does certification play? Certification, depending on who's providing it, can add credibility. It can also enhance your skills and provide models or tools that have been developed by the person who's providing the certification. This can cut years off of the learning curve and the personal professional development curve that life coaches have to go through. Some certifications provide also a structured learning environment or an opportunity to network with and collaborate with others in the field, but it's not technically necessary. Are you the next Tony Robbins? Some of the greatest life coaches and personal development gurus of the future are just getting started today. Whatever path you're on, you can enhance it through certification, training, and experience, like the Positivity Practitioner certification that I'm offering. If you're looking for proven models of positive psychology combined with support and networking that's available through a structured learning environment, this might be a great fit for you. I invite you to join me and my team for a structured strategy session. There's no charge for the strategy session, but it's only for those who are serious about moving forward in this industry. If you'd like to take me up on my offer for that free gift, please go to the URL on the screen, drpauljenkins.com/Let's meet. That link will take you right to a calendar where you can schedule a strategy session with me or a member of my team about moving forward on your path.